Okay, I'm Dionysios from buycompanyname.com. Today we will talk about .io domain and if it is a good alternative to .com. In technical sense, .io domain is as good as .com. Google will not rank better a .com website just because it uses .com. .com is considered the same as other top-level domains such as .net, .org, .io. But .com has some other unique advantages. It's by far the most recognizable domain extension. I bet that the average internet user is aware of .com, but he may never heard .io. So even if he sees some ad with a domain that ends in .io, for example, bet.io, when he will visit that website, probably he will type something like bet.com or betio.com. So the average user is not familiar with that extension. That's a big downside. But if your audience is tech savvy, maybe tech professionals, or you have some software as a service product for businesses, in that case your audience will be more educated and they will know that there are so many other extensions aside .com. So it is something that has to do with your audience too. On the other hand, it is very difficult to get a good .com domain, since most of the good domains are already taken or overpriced. If you choose the route of getting a .io domain, then you have more chances to get a domain name with a better keyword included. For example, insurance.io will be less expensive than .com. So the .io has an advantage here that you will pay less for the same keyword. Or you can even find an available keyword that is not available to .com, because even longer keyword domains are taken to .com. Another positive for a .io domain is that you can create some domain hacks like ratio, scenario, because many English words end with io. And also is an extension that stands out, sounds well, .io. It's a nice abbreviation. Let's go now to the renewal price. There, .com is usually $10 to $18, but for .io renewals you will pay always more than $20. If even $1 is very important to you, then you need to consider that factor too. Also, as we said before, people add .com in the end of the domain, so you will probably lose some traffic for that reason, and also maybe some emails, because people might not send the email to info@bet.io but to info@bet.com. So this is another downside for .io domain. So let's go to the final conclusion. In my opinion, you should always try to get a .com. Of course, there are some exceptions. As I said, if your audience is more tech savvy, you can risk it. Or if you find one word .io domain in very good price, like insurance.io, and at the same time the insurance.com is not developed, yes, in that case you can risk it. But 9 out of 10 cases you should try hard to get a .com, and if you have some money to invest, focus to .com. I have below a link to a detailed post about .io domains where I present the most successful ones and I ask every question about this top level domain. Check the description and the top comment. Also, like this video and subscribe to that channel so I can provide in the future more helpful content. Bye!